My name is Justice Niera, and I am an artist. When I first started really taking art seriously, I used to say that I started art and started, painting specifically in 2021 after being sick and having to deal with a whole bunch of changes. But now that I have been actually painting for a while and I've had a lot of time to be retrospective maybe, I realized that I have been an artist for probably all of my life. I could go back and see times in my childhood where I won art awards and where I was in competitions and in the Boys and Girls Club and in school, and just at that time my love was deeper for another form of art, and that was just my singing. For me, singing just seemed like it was something that it was no question as whether I could sing or not. There was no question whether I could sing or not. But in my head, art, it was just something that I did. I didn't think of myself as an artist. And so now I can double back and say, I have been an artist all of my life. Yeah. Said all that to say. The Last Black Mermaid. Originally when I came up with that name, there was a lot going on in media, especially with, what's her name, Halle Bailey, and getting cast as the Little Mermaid and all that good stuff. And I was thinking about it and I was just like, honey, if black mermaids were a real thing, she would probably be the last one, because we have been hunted and taken advantage of and used and abused and everything in between for centuries. So at first, that was the premise for the name. Now, when I think of mermaids to me is a symbolism of what true strength and resilience looks like. To literally be put in an environment that you are not even meant to survive in, let alone thrive in, and to be able to make your own way, in an area where nobody else looks like you. We can keep going further and further, but I feel like a mermaid's plight and the plight of an African American, and specifically an African American woman, I feel like they are very similar. So for me, that is the biggest reason why I chose The Last Black Mermaid, because I feel like the name it just fits me and how I see the world perfectly. My art is just real. I mean, I was torn between unapologetic and real. But I think those two things they go hand in hand. Those two words are kind of one and the same. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of words that come in my head. But I feel like at the end of the day, they saying the same thing: authentic, real. I'm not looking to force optimism with my art. I'm not looking to force pessimism with my art. What I feel is most important is to just tell whatever the story it is that I'm trying to tell, regardless of whether that story maybe makes people uncomfortable, regardless of whether that story is not politically correct. It's important for me for the story to be told. And I feel like, if nothing else with any of my art, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the real. Because I'm a fact-based person. I like to look at things factually, and I feel like that's something that we have kind of we run away from in today's society. Nobody wants the truth anymore, But it's the very thing that we need, and so yeah, every one of my pieces is a little bit of truth. So shoot, make me want to go back and say truth. But anyway, so I started off doing oil painting when I did finally decide that I'm actually painting now. Since then, I've kind of broken off and done other things. I've been heavy into acrylic for the past year and a half or so. What medium do I use the most? Honestly, I think My choice in mediums is kind of the same as how I deal with everything creatively. I can't necessarily just stick to one thing. I feel like everything has it's a time and a place for everything, you know. Some days I may be like, you know what, I'm gonna work with this acrylic because maybe I need it to be done quickly, or maybe I like the way certain colors, you know, you can't get neons and stuff like that with oil. So like, I feel like, yeah, it's hard to say that I have one medium, because literally everything's a tool, and every tool has specific reasons, you know, for its use. And so I kind of look at all of the different mediums that way. Yeah, every medium is a tool for me to kind of figure out how I want to use it. I like to play, and that's what art is for creation, is to play. And so I don't want to close off the playground, you know, just to say I'm disciplined in this area or that area. I want to be able to you know, yeah, play around with all of it. The first thing I was gonna say was black. I'm black, so yeah, that is one word and theme. It's gonna be a lot of blackness, I know. But honestly, now that I have a larger amount of paintings to kind of sit here and think about, I mean, some of them in the background now. I do love texture. I like to call it art you can feel. But when I say texture, I used to really think of it as just like one-sided, as stuff that, you know, literally you could touch and feel. But texture is so much more than that, you know. Texture is things that are seen, you know, not necessarily just felt too. And I still like that. I still like to play around with different textures, whether 3D or not. I think that's a big thing that you'll see in most 80%, 85% of my pieces. I don't necessarily have a signature style. What I do have is a running theme, and that running theme is really to minister to people that look like me. Yeah, minister to the parts that are not necessarily spoken about in the Black community, whether that be inadequacy, whether that be protection or lack thereof, whether that be violence, whether that be us being, you know, the cultural blueprint. Yeah, like I have pieces that are gonna touch on different things, and they're all gonna look slightly different. But yeah, every one of my pieces is going to speak on a specific piece of Black culture. And I think that's important, even if it doesn't necessarily look like it in the moment. Do I plan on making art a career? Did I plan any of this? No. Plan is the word that's getting me. No. No, I did not plan any of this. But it was already there. I am, yeah, literally using all of the things that God has placed within me. And so because of that, I feel like, yeah, it is a career, because it's something that I am gonna do lifelong, regardless of whether it is societally a career or not, regardless of whether I get to, you know, make heaps of money or I become a household name or whatever the case may be. But I think the biggest thing when somebody asks you about your career, they ask you, so what is it that you do? I'm gonna always say that I do those things. I'm gonna always say that I paint, and I'm gonna always say that I'm an artist, and I'm gonna always say that I'm a singer and all that. So yeah, yeah, I plan on making art a career, because I'm gonna do it anyway. It's what I do.